Hi, welcome to BuzzLogic Vino Diaries, where influencers talk and I taste. I'm your host, Valerie Combs, and we're here at District Wine Bar with the very awesome Jory de Jardins, who is the co-founder and president of strategic alliances at BlogHer. And for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure very few and far between, BlogHer is an online community and now media company for women. Welcome, Jory.
Thank you.
So before we jump into any sort of conversation, let me chat a little bit about what we're drinking. It's a Nadia 2006. This is a Rhone blend from the Santa Barbara area. It's primarily Viognier. It's got a couple other things going on. Do you want to share what they are? Because you can say them better than me. You can look right there.
Yeah, it says 64% Viognier, 29% Grenache Blanc, and 7% Roussanne.
And 100% delicious.
Yes, I don't normally get to indulge my enophilia on an interview, but
yes,
this is
well,
fantastic.
We don't really play by the rules here at Vino Diaries, so let's just have a quick sip, even though we've already snuck in a try. And
Santé.
Exactly. Very refreshing, very tasty. So let's start off talking about women's role in blogging and how have you seen, I mean, you guys were there at the start of everything, how have you seen the role of women take shape over the last 2 years when it relates to blogging?
Well, it's interesting because around the time that BlogHer took off was also a time when people actually appreciated women as the consumer in the household. Mm-hmm. Interestingly, the stat that keeps coming up in people's minds or in any interview about women is that 83% of every dollar spent is spent by a woman. Mm. Well, someone put two and two together and figured, wow, women bloggers, women spenders. Women bloggers are powerful consumers. Mm-hmm. And this was all happening right when BlogHer got started, which made our lives really interesting. So we went from, okay, we're a community of women who love to blog to we're a community of women who can also partner with brands and really say some powerful things about brands that we love. So really, our trajectory was very intricately linked with the appreciation that brands had for women online.
Right. So you guys did a study, I think maybe a couple months ago or a month or so ago, and some of those findings were very interesting. I think one that sticks out in my mind is 55% of women would give up alcohol before blogging.
And I think it was only 20% would give up chocolate.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That would say a lot. Interesting, we already knew that women were getting addicted to blogging. Blogging has become a new addiction. Just like women are addicted with connecting with each other, this is their form of connection. So it makes sense that this is kind of an addicting, not substance, but an addicting hobby.
Right. Interesting. And so what is it about it that you think makes it so addicting? Is it the community aspect? Is it the having a platform to have a voice? I mean, a mixture of multiple things?
At some point, the back fence went away. And this was what women always relied on to connect with each other. So now we look to our blogs to connect. Anytime you talk to a woman blogger, you say, why do you blog? Very few will say to make money and to get famous, although they may eventually want to do that.
Right.
They all say it's because I want to meet people and I love connecting.
Right.
In fact, in our survey, the one you mentioned, there was the top 3 reasons that bloggers blog, women bloggers I should say, blog, was for fun, to express myself, and to connect with other people like me.
Interesting. Do you think that blogs actually for this community serve almost as a social network?
Absolutely.
More than a social network would in itself?
Social networks, of course, can connect people by tag, by interest, by keyword, but blogs connect people by concepts, by emotions, by stories. There's so much more. I think the ties that you can make on blogs are so much more significant.
Right. So what about this mommy blogger contingency? I mean, how many women bloggers are in fact blogging about their experience as mothers?
Well, BlogHer, we've got probably 60 to 70% of our audience. Now, there's thousands of members and about almost 2,000 blogs in our network. About 60 to 70% are mom blogs. But let's be clear, they write about everything under the sun. They just have this common tie where they also talk about being parents. So mommy bloggers are women bloggers, but they tend to also write about parenting. That's really the key here. It's not just about I'm a parent and I write about being a parent.
Right.
Some of the most most popular mom bloggers love to talk about everything but being a parent.
Interesting.
It's that they have this tie with other mom bloggers
Right.
because of their shared experience as parents.
Right, that makes sense. So, I know from a brand or from an advertiser perspective, the mommy blogger contingency has been something that they've really wanted to access. So how has that maybe shaped how mommy bloggers overall are kind of maybe changing their views about monetizing their sites? I mean, have they become, you mentioned that money is definitely not the driving factor in why they're blogging, but
Right.
is that shifting at all given sort of the amount of dollars? Okay, so talk about that dynamic a little bit.
So when we first started BlogHer, there were women who were blogging, but they almost were timid about making money off of their blogs. They were saying, what does this say about me if I'm making money? Over time, there's become an increased comfort level with brands, because I think what the bloggers are understanding is no one's asking you to say, this is the best Swiffer, or this is the best mop, this is the best brand. They're just saying, do what you do, but we want to advertise, we want to support your blog. And it's a big distinction that the bloggers are making. So once bloggers began to really kind of look at that whole question, they then opened up to it much more. And we found that happening around 2006, where bloggers said, no one's forcing me to blog about something. As long as that is in place and I'm still keeping my credibility, by all means, let's keep going.
Right, interesting. So let's really quick talk about BlogHer. That's an event that's coming up in July in San Francisco, July 18th through 20th.
Yeah.
What is this? Talk a little bit about the event and maybe what's different this year that you're going to be trying out as opposed to previous events.
Sure. So this is our 4th annual conference. Our first one was in July of 2005. This one is now July 2008. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
But the difference here is, of course, the size. We're expecting about 1,000 bloggers, which is bigger than the 300 we started out with. We already had to cut off the registration because of capacity issues with the hotel. So give it a few more days and then we're done.
Wow.
Another difference would be the theme of this year, which is reach. And I think our very first conference we asked, where are the women bloggers? And we now know where they are. We're pretty secure in the fact that they are everywhere and they write about everything. But the key here is that now, what do we do with our platforms? How do we extend them? So the theme of this conference is reach, and then we have a secondary theme, which is green. In fact, GM, who has been our very loyal platinum sponsor for the past 3 years, has said, well, how can we support and make this a greener conference?
Wow, cool.
So it's fascinating to see what's going on. They are going to be providing cars for women who have opted to drive to the conference rather than fly.
Cool.
Both ways. We'll take care of the first tank of gas. Here's the car. So there's some carpools that were going on. And this has always happened underground, but we never had it sponsored.
Right.
Additionally, we have a swag recycling area.
Oh, nice.
There is so much stuff that goes to the attendees of these conferences.
Oh, God.
It's huge.
We all know. Yeah. It's
right.
painful.
And what do you
Wasteful.
do with it? You throw it out. In this case, bloggers can keep it or they can recycle it. We will have Zwaggle as our swag recycler for the conference. And then finally, we've got Michelin, which is one of our gold sponsors, who is calculating the carbon offset of the conference.
Wow.
And will be offsetting, according to the footprint and the number of people who are going to be there.
Right. That is very, very cool. What an awesome event. Well, I'll definitely be there. If you're not going, check it out. Get your butt over there. It's going to be an awesome event. Jory, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Awesome conversation, good glass of wine, and until next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.